Well done, everyone. How you doing today? It's a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking and baking. This is going to be a good one, and I hope you're well. It's a great week. It's a great way to start the week. Oh, we have a sizable number of people in the house. All right, so I'm streaming live on Instagram and on the podcast, and I'm going to put it on YouTube as well. Today, I want to talk to you about principles for life, principles for success, because principles are very, very powerful. Some people even say that principles are more powerful than tactics, because if you have the principles, you can always produce the tactics every single time. This episode of the Paul Fo podcast was inspired by an article by Oliver Song that I read, and I thought the article was very, very good. So let me build a podcast around that, because these principles were so powerful. The principles were so powerful that I'm going to be sharing with you in a minute, that I shared it with my children on our way to church yesterday, and anyway, it formed a good conversation with me and my children as we go along. So let's start. The first principle that I'll be sharing here is that number one, it says make bets that have the potential for unlimited upsides without the risk of ruin. Make bets that have the potential for unlimited upside without the risk of ruin. In other words, when you want to make a decision, you want to ask yourself, does the upside, if the upside of your decision is unlimited and the downside of your decision is limited, go for such a decision. But if the downside of your decision is unlimited, but the upside is limited, you want to be careful about such a decision. You don't do such a decision, really. I'll give an example. If you have a partner, if you have a wife, or you have a husband, if you cheat on your partner, you cheat on your wife, or you cheat on your partner, the upside of cheating on someone that you love is very, very limited. You have a sexual experience with someone else, is a limited experience. But the downside of cheating on a partner is unlimited. You may get a disease, your marriage could be destroyed, and all of those negative things can happen to you and to your relationship. So you do not want that. So you want to make decisions that have unlimited upside but very limited downsides. You get that? For example, if you pick up your phone to call, if you pick up your phone to call a customer, for example, and even though you are physically very, very, very tired to make that call, the upside of that call, of you calling that customer, is unlimited, because that call may lead to a sale, that sale may lead to a referral, that referral may just change your business or change your life for this quarter. But what is the downside of making that call? Just a little bit of an inconvenience for that season. Just a little bit of inconvenience, for that period. That is just the downside of it. All right. Thank you, Wanze. Thank you, Wanze. Yeah, so that is that. That's the second thing the second principle I want to talk about is never disrupt what is compounding unnecessarily. Do not disrupt the things that is compounding in an unnecessary way. Now, the good thing is that money is not the only thing that compounds. I think it was Sequoia. They invested $25,000 when Uber started. You can imagine the worth of that investment now when Uber went public. All right. So you invest money somewhere. You got to be patient, take a chill pill, so that the money compounds. You invest money in real estate. You wait for the property's value to compound before you even think about selling. I'm actually talking to myself right now as well. But the good thing is that money is not the only thing that compounds. Your skill level also compounds. The way you are doing your work right now is not the way you did it when you first started. The skill has compounded. Your customers also compound. Some people have certain people that reach out to them to buy their product or their service. And when you checked out the client on Instagram, you checked out the client on social media, the client doesn't look rich. The client doesn't look successful. The client doesn't look like someone that can afford your product or your service. So you did not attend to the client at all, or you didn't attend to the client well. Now, when the client's life and business compounded and got better, you could not partake in the client's life because you did not allow that relationship to compound. So don't disrupt anything that is compounding in an unnecessary way. You want to look that. So the third principle is convex payoffs presents a potential asymmetry between the potential gain and unlimited loss or limited loss. You know, like a concave shape and a convex shape. A convex shape is a shape that bulges outward. A concave shape is a shape that goes inwards. All right. So you want to make investment. You want to make investment in time, resources, and time in things that will go up. I'll call you back. In things that will go up and not things that, as you put money in it, you put time in it, the upside is unlimited, but the downside is limited. The fifth law you want to understand is understand the power law. Very, very important. Understand the power law. It says that the power law is a mathematical relationship whereby one thing varies in relationship to another. It's like the Pareto principle. It says that this relationship often shows that a small number of things have a huge impact while the majority have a much smaller impact. If you look at it, you look at your work, right? There are certain activities that have a stronger impact than all the other activities that you do put together. True or false? You know, Pareto principle says that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your activities. We live in a power law world, or some people call it the Matthew principle. All right, there are little things that have an impact in every other thing. For some people, is that you have to make 22 sales calls every single day. And that is your 20% activity that can impact 80% of your sales. So what I'm saying here is that identify what your power law is in your business. All right. When you've identified what those power law is in your business, you want to bet or go hard, allocate heavily on those things. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here. You have to identify. So Pareto principle says 80% of your success will come from 20% of your activities. Now you want to identify what is that 20% activity that, if I lock my attention on, will produce 80% of the outcome that I want. So if you want to understand the power law, right, those 20% activity, lock your attention on it. There's power law in everything that you do. If you look at all these VC, all these big investment houses, all these venture capitalists, they invest in a lot of businesses, but a lot of them fail. A lot of them don't do well, but you don't hear about those ones. It's called the survivorship bias. You don't hear about those businesses that don't do well. The ones that you hear are the ones that do well. And guess what? The ones that do well make up for all the other ones that failed. That is the power law. You do understand, man? You do understand me? The ones that do well make up for all the other ones that fail. Once you understand that, you understand priorities. You understand priorities. The activities that have the highest leverage is the activities that you should put your attention on and think about doing it well. I'll give you an example. This is a podcast. I do not know who will listen to this podcast. This is going to go on YouTube. I do not know who is going to watch this. All right. A lot of people will not comment. A lot of people will not respond. And I'm okay with that because I understand the power law. But the one or two people that this video or audio may resonate with may send me a DM. And from that DM, I will close somebody. From that closing, I'll be able to feed my family and live the life of my dreams and contribute to the lives of people that I care about. That is what we mean by the power law. Did you understand that? Once you understand that, you will bet heavily on that activity. All right? The next principle is enjoy the process along with the proceeds, because the process is where you live. I thought that was very, very powerful. Before I go on, this episode of the Paul Fo podcast was powered by my book club / WhatsApp group. Today, I have a book club whereby I review a book every single month with over 400 people from all over the world. Today we are reviewing a book today called Psycho-Cybernetics. We review a book on the 15th of every month. We are reviewing a book tonight by 7 p.m. UK time. And if you want to join the book club, you click on the link on my Instagram bio. You will get the WhatsApp, you will get the link, you will join the book club tonight. You'll be on my WhatsApp group. You can pay to be in the group for 60,000 for the whole year, or £60 for the whole year, 15,000 for 3 months, or 8,000 for a month. Join the book club. I've done this since 2020. We're reviewing a book tonight by 7 p.m. called Psycho-Cybernetics. So the link is going to be on the show notes. Join my WhatsApp community and the book club where I review books like this. Great. Here it says you said that enjoy the process along with the proceeds. It says because the process is where you live. I thought that was very, very powerful. The process is where you live. You do not live in the proceeds. How many of you here have ever tried to achieve something? You put all your heart to the accomplishment of that thing, and then you finally achieved it. And you're like, In fact, when you were chasing the goal, you said to yourself that if I achieve this goal, I will scream, I will dance. And then you finally achieved the goal. You didn't even have the energy to scream because you were locked in the process. You see, everybody has a goal to be successful. In terms of our goals, all of us are equal. We all want to be successful. What will separate you is in your process. The more committed you are to the process, the more likely the goal will happen, because you don't live in the goal, you live in the process. Let's say you want to lose weight, for example. The process is you go to the gym, you eat right. That's where you live. The outcome called lose weight is the proceeds. That's not where you live. Where you live is the process. So you want to have a bias, a strong bias for the process and not for the outcome. Because if you take care of the process, the very outcome will take care of itself. Did you get that? Did you get that? Great. The next principle is develop into a lifelong learner through voracious reading. Cultivate curiosity. Strive to become a little wiser every single day. Cultivate curiosity. Develop a voracious appetite to learn, to read, to listen to podcasts. So I read a lot. I listen to podcasts a lot. I read a lot of articles. I use an app called Readwise to take notes of the things that I read. Reading is so powerful. All right, great. So that's why I say join the WhatsApp group. So you don't even have to, even if you don't have time to read the books, I will read the books for you. Me and my team will read the books for you, and then we'll review the books for you. Last year we reviewed 12 books. This year again we're going to review another 12 books. You get that? So be a voracious reader. I like this part. I think it was, is that Charlie Munger or Naval Ravikant that says that embrace accountability and take risk under your own name. It says society will reward you with responsibility, equity, and leverage when you take risk under your own name. This is very, very powerful. We're in the era of the personal brand now. You know, all these big brands, Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, all these, they've taken risk under their own name. So today, company give them shares in their businesses. They give them leverage. It gives them a lot of leverage. It's about you building your own personal brand and putting yourself out there. When you put yourself out there, it makes you more accountable. You run a business, put your face out there. You are a personal brand. Take risk under your own name. If you take those risks under your own name and it does well, before you know, people will give you equity. For example, I'm a coach, right? But I have companies that I do sales training retainers with. They pay me every single month. Not only that, they give me a percentage when they hit their sales targets. So I have equity in some of this business, in quotes, because I have taken risk in my name. Did you get that? So that's such a powerful principle. And lastly, before I share with you the last thing again, I'm doing a webinar called How to Achieve Your Sales Target in 60 Days or Less. I really want you to attend that webinar. Click on the link on the show notes if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube as well, smash the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on Spotify, click on the subscribe button, write a comment and tell me how much you're enjoying this. All right. Last principle is play iterative games. In other words, all returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, and knowledge, come from compound interest. Every return comes from compound interest. So being iterative means you are tweaking it. You're getting better every single day. You are improving on every step as you go along. That's how you play iterative. You don't get great at once. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So those of you watching this on Instagram, hang on there. Those of you watching this on YouTube, thank you for listening, and click the subscribe button, write a comment and tell me what you think about this. All right.